Hey, why is a skeleton in my shot? Come on dude, get out of here. I am trying to get this sick new angle. Well, now that we have got that out of the way. Hey, what is going on you guys? My name is Sub-Zero Exabyte and I am coming right back at you today with another video from my own Minecraft realm. It is a beautiful day outside, even though it might be a little chilly right now, but that will not ruin our day today. But so alright, let's get the day started out right, and that means that we are going to be doing some productive stuff today, instead of just sitting on our butts all day long. But what can we do? I am wondering. I mean, it is not like there is nothing at all that we can do. I mean, there are a lot of things that we could do, but we will have to decide on what we want to do today, because that will be the major key of today's video. I mean, I could just record myself laying in bed all day and watching TV, but something is telling me that we do not really want to see that, because it really is not that interesting, to say the absolute freaking least. But you may be wondering right now, like, well Sub, what in the world are you doing right now? Just doing something reckless like building a tower like this, just out of pure boredom? Well, yes and no. I mean, kind of yes, but really no. I mean, there have been a lot of people trying to build good houses lately, and even though I made a really cool video on how to make a modern house and such, by the way, you should definitely go ahead and check that out because it was literally amazing. But as I was saying, yes, we are going to be doing something a little bit different than that, because right now we are going to go into a more typical / classical house building style. And of course we have got Out House Noob with us right here, and we are going to be teaching him a little, because that is something that must be done right now. Right now. Yeah, that sounded really weird to me as well. But let's get this party started now, shall we? Now, as I said before and again and again, I keep having these noobs finding out where I live, and it is just driving me nuts. Now I have already tried training the noobs, in order to make them respect me and know a thing or two about the game. Like, of course, right now I want to go in a more usual style house and stuff, because that is what the people of Minecraft want, you know. Not everyone wants a flashy house. Some people just like to have their house very hidden and stuff, so that they can go ahead and make sure that they are safe and sound from enemies and mobs and stuff like that. So we might want to go for an invisible house of some sort, but I do not think that this will be my best option, because that is no fun, and no one can see your house that way. So you know, that is a pickle. Now we cannot just hide a house. We have to make this some kind of way where it is just going to be camouflaged really well within the environment. So we will have to make it blend in well. And what better way to do this than to just build the house inside of a rock wall? That is like the best idea that I have ever come up with right now. But first things first, I am already proud of the fact that I was able to get the idea from myself, which I had applied to the chest/stealing problem. So that was a pretty awesome thing, to be honest. But I was able to apply that same idea that I used on the chest problem, and I am going to be putting it to work with the housing problem that I have got right now. But I am just hoping that once I am done with all of this right here, that I can just live here in peace again. But something is telling me that this will not work out the way that I wanted it to. It is just something that I feel coming up. I mean, that does not mean that this is a bad thing. I mean, I would rather have things go wrong while I am in the beginning stages of building this, because otherwise I would have to start all over again when I am almost done. But that is not something that I want to do right now. So I am just praying to the gods that this will actually work in one go, and that I can finally make sure that all of you are safe and sound in the world of Minecraft. Because yes, that is an actual concern of mine, if you would like me to tell you that, because I just want to take care of all of you if that is possible. But however I might be feeling about this classic fortress of mine that I am building, it will still take a lot of time before I am actually done with this thing, because there is just so much work to do right now. Maybe I should hire some people to come and work for me and build this thing for me. Oh wait, never mind, I am cool right now, and that is not what I should do, because I am trying to keep the people out of this Minecraft realm. And of course, if they were to be the ones who build this thing, then they would be finding out where I would live, or I should pack it up and move it somewhere else. But I will not go and do that, because that looks like just a little bit too much of a hassle, which is not what I am looking for right now. Because if I have got to work even more on this thing, I will probably end up up losing my mind over it, which is not what I am looking for right now. So I am just going to go ahead and get this all over with so that I can actually get some stuff done instead of trying to be a builder and a talker at the same time, because my words will not feed my mouth right now, or ever actually. But then again, why not, right? I mean, my words are actually filling my mouth, but that just sounds weird, so I am just going to cut it off right there and start talking about something else like nothing ever happened right here. My god, I can be so awkward at times for some reason. So next thing that is up on my little short list of things that you should be applying to your house when you really want this to have a classic feel to it. And it might sound a little weird, I might get that, but just hear me out, alright? So first thing first will be windows. A lot of classical houses are filled with windows because it just looks really classy, and I really like that as well. Plus it is going to give you some sunlight that will shine right into your house, which of course is cool as well. I mean, who would not want it, right? But second of all is the color. Brown is always going to be your go-to color when it comes to building a classic house. And try wool and darker wood when you want to add some color or a floor or something like that should be cool. I am just thinking out loud right now, so just bear with me so that we can actually get done with some stuff right here, because otherwise we are still going to be building on this thing for the better part of a year or something like that. But to be honest, that is just an educated guess on my end of the spectrum. But let's continue with what I was saying a minute ago, and I was talking about building a modern cool house, because this is something that I think is really awesome, because the classic house is by far my favorite one out of all of the styles that you have got around here today, which is not that good now that I start thinking about it. It is actually smart that I think about this kind of stuff right now before I start doing them in the first place, but still that would be pretty cool. At least that is what I think. I mean, no one is going to expect a thing right now, and that is exactly what I want with this right here. So no one will ever be able to go and start stealing some of my ideas again, which is good, so that I do not have to go out and make more stuff over and over and over and over again, like I always have to do. So alright, if I may say so myself, I think that the House of Modernity, aka the modern house, is coming along pretty nicely. Of course, we're just setting up the walls and stuff right now, but like Donald Trump says, there is nothing better than a wall. Okay, he did not really say that, but just let me have a moment here, okay? But yeah, even though we are still building the walls so that everything is sturdy in here, it is actually looking pretty nice. But alright, also decoration is low-key, just high-key right now, so get going on that as well. Just light this bad boy up with like chandeliers and all that kind of stuff. Just whatever you think will fit into this thing, because ultimately it will become your house, and maybe one day even your home. And you know how I feel about building a home rather than a house, because a house is just that, a house. It is 4 walls and a roof, but a home is so much more than that. I mean, it still is 4 walls and a roof, but right now it also is filled with love, like a real home should be filled with, in my opinion, of course. To be honest, building this classic style home right now also makes me feel at home for some reason, and because I always used to make these things a couple of years back when I was just playing on my own instead of with you guys. But you know, that might actually just be me rambling, to be honest. Who knows actually? I just know that it feels good to be making this thing right now. But of course I am going to keep feeling this feeling of being home and this feeling of nostalgia. So I thought that today I am going to be pursuing that feeling of nostalgia. And I mean, I really love the feeling of nostalgia just because it makes me feel at home, and it gives me a little throwback to my childhood and stuff. So I am just going to go ahead and do whatever it takes to get that nostalgic feeling back into my veins. And that is really something that I long for right now. Even though all of this has nothing to do with the classic house style, I just feel like sometimes it is just good to talk about things like this, because you could just build this house right here, and it would not feel like home. That would be a bad thing. Alright, since we are moving on to the roof, there are of course a couple of key notes that you want to consider when making something like a classic style house. I mean, with a modern house that we made a couple of weeks ago, you can just go ahead and do whatever you would like when it comes to the roof. I mean, you can have a flat roof or something like that, and it would instantly look modern. Well, with a classic home you do not have that luxury, because you have got the fact that you need some things in the right place at the right time. I mean, you cannot put a flat roof on a classic house because that would not make it a classic house. So you would want to go for something a little more fancy and something with a little more flair and finesse, if you will. So that would be great. Just avoid something like a lot of angles and stuff. Just make it look like an old mansion or something like that. I think that we can all get into that stuff, right? that would possibly be the best thing to take something away from, because it is just a good option right now. So let's move on now, shall we? Now we are basically done, so that I can test to see if this base is fully operational. Yes, I just quoted Star Wars. What are you going to do about it? That is right, there is nothing that you can do about it, because right now Sub-Zero Exabyte is a free man. Of course that means if there will be no visitors coming around right now, because then he would have been able to hear my entire plan and I would be screwed either way. But of course that does not matter right now. So just like I said, there is going to be a lot changing around here, since I cannot just go out and about anymore, and I will have to stick close to my house, because otherwise there will be a lot going on throughout my day. But I will make sure that I can still do whatever is necessary to make these videos for you guys, even if it means that I'm going to be making a video that is just me sitting in a chair by some fireplace in a red kimono with some kind of a pipe and a newspaper. Yeah, just imagine me sitting like that. But with all of that said, it is time for me to move on with this, because we have got this noob here who built a freaking bonfire instead of a house. My god, these guys always need special supervision for some reason. Wait, no way. Oh my freaking god, he set my house on fire. Why would you do this? I am just here roaming around the world for you and trying to teach you some things about Minecraft, and this is what I get in return. I knew that I should have never trusted a noob nor a Steve in my Minecraft world. Let's stand my Minecraft realm. I am just outraged right now, but I cannot let this anger get the best of me, because anger comes from fear, and we all know what fear does to someone, right? I mean, we have all seen Star Wars, right? Come on guys, do I really need to elaborate on that? My god, alright, here we go. Because you are asking for it. Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. Now I am not sure what to say, but I can assure you that I have got the right plan to go ahead and get back on this noob. I think that this is going to work out just fine for me, myself and I. So Steve, would you look at this? I am going to be building you another house especially for you, and I will teach you, and when I am done with this you can go ahead and start living in this thing, because I am that good of a friend right now. So let's get to it, shall we? Now of course the walls that I am building right now are made out of 100% pure love, and of course that is not where it stops, because that is actually just where it is going to begin right now. I am made of love and you are made of love. Actually not, I mean we are all made up out of atoms, but let's just say that we are all made up out of love. So I mean we cannot let that get in our way right now, because we are just that freaking awesome, and you and me are going to be friends forever until the end of time right now. Is that not just going to be totally awesome right now? Because I assure you that this house that I am making for you right now will consist out of 100% pure love, and I will never let that go, and neither are you, because you will be in here for the rest of your life. In a good way, of course. Ha ha ha. Now this is going to be hard, but it is just something that I will have to cope with until everything right here has all been sorted out. And I can tell you that when the day comes, I am going to be celebrating so hard that it actually is pretty insane to myself. I mean, I am going to be excited like crazy once I am all done with this thing, because I just think that after all this time that I just deserve a little break from everything right now. I mean, we have been through a lot the last couple of months. As you may remember, the fact that my house ended was just a really big setback for me, because I just love working under the spell of something new and underneath the spell of the houses. So to not have that anymore is just a big blow for me personally. But I had to get through that, and I did get through that quite successfully. But that was the point where all of the noobs came tagging along and starting invading all of my personal space. And I know that all of this sounds really familiar and stuff, but I just love you, Steve. I mean, a lot of stupid stuff has happened throughout the last couple of weeks, but you know, I guess that this is just my life right now. Even though I must confess that the things that we have been doing the last week are pretty okay. I mean, there were no sightings of random people who tried to mess with me or anything like that, so that is something that I really do appreciate right now. Now that does not mean that everything is over and said and done and all of that, because it is not. I can feel that a war is coming, but it will not be a war between us two, because I think that we are the best friends that we could have ever imagined. Is that not right, my dear friend Steve? Oh, and by the way, yeah, there is something wrong with the water. The chlorine levels are just a little bit too high, but do not worry about that, because you will have nothing to worry about once I am freaking done with you right now. What are you even thinking? Lighting up my new build house? Get out of here. I am done with you and everything that you do. So guys, that is how you deal with that. I will see you next time.